What can the wisdom of Buddhism teach us when we have to deal with narcissistic behavior? I will introduce Buddhism and go into how subjects such as feelings, silence, meditation, mindfulness, ego, and self-reflection relate to narcissism. I will focus mainly on the mind. My experience of having a narcissistic father pushed me unconsciously towards learning about Eastern philosophies, and I experienced the wisdom as being soothing and helpful. This is why I love to share some ideas of Buddhism, as there is a lot of wisdom, kindness, and compassion in it. There seem to be a lot of people that experience or have experienced narcissistic abuse or manipulative and narcissistic behavior. Dealing with narcissistic energy and behavior is very personal, and it requires you to learn how to deal with yourself and your mind. Buddhism can be a great way to grow if it resonates with you. The direction of the mind of someone practicing Buddhism is directed inwards, thus looking inside yourself, where a narcissistic mind is directed at the outside world. The blind spot of someone involved in narcissistic or egoic energy is honest self-reflection. This is exactly what practicing Buddhism is about. When dealing with narcissistic energy, it will push you into the world of ego, appearance, and external things. It can result in having a chaos of thoughts and emotions and therefore losing the ability to think clearly. In my opinion, a possible counterbalance could be exploring your internal world and trying to create more silence within the mind. It can help you with gaining clarity and can be seen as training your mind. No, this video is based upon my personal experience with Buddhism and Narcissism. I hope this can be helpful to you. I will first give a short introduction to Buddhism, which is my interpretation. The philosophy is based on the Buddha's observations and insights. It's not a religion, but rather an invitation to look inside ourselves. It means self-reflection is an essential part of Buddhism. It's about seeing reality as it is, before our thoughts and ideas come into play. The Buddha summarized his teachings as awareness. This means being awake and being aware of what is happening in the here and now. To me, Buddhism in its purest form invites everyone to explore life for themselves by reflecting and looking inside. Now, the so-called Buddha Dharma, translated to Buddhist teachings, urges you to focus on your own experience of truth and not to become captivated by the doctrine itself. The reality of life is the problem that we don't want to have any problems at all. Joy and sorrow, happiness and misfortune are simply a part of life. The Four Noble Truths are the essence of Buddha's teachings. The first truth, according to the Buddha Dharma, is the truth of suffering. This is part of human life and is all around us. The second truth is the truth of the cause of suffering. This comes from within ourselves and arises from our ignorance and our desire to change reality. The third truth is the truth of the end of suffering, which is that we can understand for ourselves how this suffering arises and put an end to it. The fourth truth offers a method to come to this realization. This realization is called nirvana or enlightenment. The fourth truth consists of 8 aspects, which is called the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path is quite a list, and it consists of the following things: right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This path is divided into 3 basic aspects of Buddhist life. The first is ethics or morality, which consists of the right action, speech, and livelihood. The second is meditation and mental development, which consists of the right mindfulness, effort, and concentration. And the third is wisdom, which consists of the right understanding and thought. We can see it thus revolves around seeing and recognizing our suffering or problems in life. When it becomes clear, you will see the necessity or benefit of conscious living and to be fully present and aware. It means consciously thinking and speaking. So how do we do this? You can start by acting and living and speaking more consciously and not harming others in doing so. Behaving more consciously will lead to better thoughts and a calmer mind, and this will help with meditating. By meditating, you will gain wisdom. Ethics or morality is seen as the basis for the development of concentration, which in turn is necessary for the development of wisdom. In conclusion, the Buddha Dharma tries to open your eyes to what we are experiencing in the here and now. You don't have to search it outside yourself and depend on external things. It's an internal process and about waking up in the here and now. After this short introduction into Buddhism, I would like to go into several subjects that are relevant when experiencing narcissistic abuse from a Buddhist perspective. In my video, going into certain negative feelings and emotions that narcissists can cause or emphasize by manipulating, I go deeper into the roller coaster of thoughts and emotions one could experience when dealing with narcissists. It shows how important the mind is with all its thoughts, feelings and emotions. In Buddhism, the subject of thoughts and emotions is important as well. A thought is a thought, and a feeling is a feeling. Is there a need to attach to it? How do we decide this? And how do emotions arise? It seems we have many counterproductive emotions based on our ignorance of the true nature of things. Simply put, there are pleasant, neutral and unpleasant feelings. The Buddha speaks mostly of feelings instead of emotions. He does speak of individual emotions, such as fear. It seems he sees raw feelings as ingredients of emotions. A raw feeling can be positive or negative, whereas an emotion can be a more complicated mixture of both positive and negative. Most emotions, however, are overwhelmingly either positive, such as joy, or negative, such as fear and anxiety. Our feelings and emotions motivate our behavior in a very direct way, as well as in more indirect ways. If you feel pain because you burn your hand in an open flame, you will react directly and move your hand away. More indirectly would be if you, for example, don't like someone. Your mind then will mostly think of negative things about this person and more reasons not to like them. Your belief is this person is not nice, which means your thought patterns will help you in supporting this belief. Your mind will thus tend to explain neutral things in a way that supports your truth of not liking someone. The human mind tends to align with your truth and beliefs. It's important to be aware of this tendency, as this is an important aspect in dealing with narcissists and cognitive dissonance. Feelings thus influence our thoughts and behavior in both direct and indirect ways. We feel their impact. In meditation, the feelings don't reach out and grab you in the same way. After reflection, you might make the decision not to let them impact you how they normally do, as you feel they are less substantial. The thing is that some feelings are reliable and truthful, whereas other feelings aren't. It thus means you have to decide which feelings you're going to engage with. Will you attach to it? And what will be the impact of your thoughts and feelings? View feelings with discernment. It's learning to understand for which feelings it makes sense to engage in, and for which feelings it doesn't. This self-reflection and clarity is something we could learn from Buddhism. Is the feeling you have reliable? Is it a bad thing you have self-doubts and anxiety? Or is it a good thing you have a feeling that something is off and that your intuition gives you warning signals? When interacting with narcissists, the tendency can be to deny a reliable feeling because it doesn't correlate with the strong truth of a narcissist. Cognitive dissonance might disturb your process of trusting your intuition and reliable feelings. The result could be that feelings have a negative impact, causing or emphasizing counterproductive emotions such as fear, anxiety, and shame. The manipulative behavior of narcissists stimulates having these counterproductive emotions. A narcissist thus disturbs your natural process of acknowledging and observing your thoughts and feelings, and manipulates you into denying your natural thoughts and feelings. Denial and other defense mechanisms are then in a way creating new, unreliable thoughts and feelings that correspond with the truth that is forced upon you by a narcissist. This is what your mind naturally does to reduce the discomfort of cognitive dissonance. You might have this belief this person couldn't be manipulating you and that things must be your fault. Your thoughts and feelings will tend to align with this false belief. I have a video series going deeper into cognitive dissonance when dealing with narcissistic abuse, which I think can be very helpful if you recognize yourself in conflicting beliefs and thoughts and feelings. It all shows the importance of having the ability to recognize with which thoughts and feelings you want to engage with. Meditation and conscious breathing are methods that could help in doing this. Now, what is the truth of a narcissist? It seems to be fully engaged in ego and external things. Buddhism revolves around opposite things when comparing to the world of a narcissist. The world of a narcissist is one where external things and appearances are very important. A narcissist has an unending need for validation, appreciation, and ego boosting. To fulfill this need, a narcissist is seeking for all these external things. A narcissist has a created identity that is fully dependent on the opinion of others. The ego is a created identity, a derived sense of self, and therefore it needs to identify with external things. It needs to be fed and it needs to defend itself. The ego's needs are endless and lives in a state of fear. It therefore seeks for attachments to survive and protect itself. Ego could, for example, identify with possessions, social status, work, abilities, education, physical appearance, relationships, belief systems, and so forth. None of these things is you, however. The mind of a Buddhist is directed in the other way. It's directed inside instead of outside. It will try to let go of attachments of the mind to external things in order to gain insight. It will try to let go of ego because of the understanding of how things really are. True power is within. Power over others is weakness, pretending to be strength. If there is a need to have a power over others, it merely shows dependency. Your deeper self or independent mind doesn't need control, attachments, or validations to exist, as it is independent. Buddhism and being in the here and now is about letting these attachments go. You become present. Life is now and will always be now. Meditation and mindfulness will naturally bring more presence into your life. The present moment is all you will ever have. Let's shortly look into fear as an example. How does fear arise? The psychological condition of fear can show itself as discomfort, anxiety, tension, worry, nervousness, and so on. These types of fear are there because of something that might happen, but not because of something that is happening now. Your mind is in the future instead of in the here and now. If something is happening now, you can try to deal with it, but you can't deal with the future right now. Trying to do this creates anxiety. Suppose you have the feeling of walking on eggshells because you are afraid your partner might be frustrated, disappointed, or mad when he or she comes home from work. It means you're tense now, even though your partner hasn't yet arrived home. You're already trying to deal with a possible future event. If you're dealing with the future in this way, you're identifying with the mind and involved in the world of ego. I will now go into the importance of silence. Thich Nhat Hanh described the importance of mindfulness and silence as follows. Silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our mind is full of words and thoughts, there is no room for ourselves. He emphasizes the beneficial effect of inaction. You stop thinking, bring your mind back into your body, and you're fully present. Our minds can be full of all kinds of revolving thoughts. Silence can be taken for granted, and it can be very busy in our heads, even when it's quiet outside. It sometimes seems that we are constantly ruminating our thoughts. Mostly, these thoughts seem to be negative thoughts. We eat them and let them come up again to ruminate them endlessly, similar to a cow chewing on its food. It's quite an unhealthy habit to do this, and it drains your energy. The solution from the Buddhist perspective is practicing mindfulness. This means to experience the activities that you do in the now as much as possible. It's an attempt to fully focus your attention on what you are doing right now. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you will go through a roller coaster of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You could feel confused, emotional, hopeless, shameful, doubtful, and so forth. It's just very draining to have a mind captivated into all these thoughts and emotions. A way to counterbalance this is Buddhist meditation or conscious breathing. It's practicing silence. This is especially important if you feel like your mind is full or chaotic. It's a clear sign you need silence in your mind if you have low concentration, feel chaotic or stressed, doubtful and/or anxious. If you start practicing silence, your emotions might first appear magnified. It can be overwhelming, but no, this is a good thing. You are simply noticing your emotions and by that bringing them to the surface. It's healthy because this way you can consciously acknowledge your emotions instead of carrying them with you unconsciously or in denial. If you're in the process of emotionally detaching from a narcissist, whether still in contact or already in no contact, I recommend practicing silence in some way. It doesn't matter if it's meditation, conscious breathing, or other mindful methods. Find whatever method suits you. Meditation and conscious breathing will help you move in the right direction by gaining clarity, acknowledging thoughts and feelings, and observing reality in a less skewed way. I want to emphasize the importance of being kind and compassionate to yourself. Sadly, when experiencing narcissists, your mind could become more negative about yourself, and you don't deserve this treatment. I know most victims are very loving and caring to others, and in my opinion, you should try to treat yourself in the same way. Allow yourself to simply relax, sit, and take a breath. Doing meditation or conscious breathing should be done with compassion to yourself and with realistic expectations. This is what is meant with the right effort. You can't force or control being in the here and now to calm your mind. Try to find the natural amount of effort you can put into it right now. What is possible for you at this moment? Meditation is merely about observing and seeing what's going on in your mind. You don't try to change anything or think it's bad to have negative thoughts or feelings. It's all okay. The only thing to do is bringing yourself back to the state of observing. See yourself as a compassionate and kind observer that's not interfering. Know practicing will be worth it. I recommend watching my video with some tips on Buddhist meditation if you're interested. I hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you for listening. I wish you strength, kindness, and wisdom.